Okay. All right. Well, welcome back onto the mat. Um, Today is back to basics, and we're focusing on modifying and really focusing on the alignment and the correction, the form of Chaturanga. Chaturanga is one of the postures, also known as Chaturanga Dandasana. It's a posture within the Vinyasa series, and it's also harder for many people because it requires a certain amount of upper body strength, shoulder strength, and core strength as well. So I'm going to guide you into different variations of this. What do you do for prep work? And this is part of my own practice as I've been coming back onto the mat with more strength building from my car accident. So for those who don't know, I had an AC joint separation twice in my left shoulder. And so vinyasas prove challenging when I'm trying to do that practice of weight bearing and pressing for long periods of time. So I love to show you some things that I've learned along the way on modifications and also to show you the full form of the actual posture. But before we do that, let's go ahead and come into a seated pose in the middle of your mat, a little grounding work in the beginning. So go ahead and just place the hands onto your knees, palms facing down on towards the mat. And you're going to go ahead and just close your eyes. Allow the natural rhythm of your breath to flow into your nostrils. And as you exhale, just softly part the lips. Calm breaths through the nose. Deep breaths out through your mouth. Each and one of us has an intention that brought us back onto this mat. Be it physical, mental, or emotional, or spiritual. Take this time to draw that awareness inwards. Be mindful of where you are in mind and body and spirit. Moment of silence. As we begin class, I'd like to share an inspiration with you to carry you through this evening. I am attracting everything that is for my highest good. New opportunities, new energy, new mindset, and new connections. Let me repeat that one more time. I'm attracting everything that is for my highest good. New opportunities, new energy, new mindset, and new connections. A new week allows us to embody all those elements on this mat. So let's make it count, make it work, and let's begin. Open your eyes. Go ahead and just take the arms up. I want you to let the palms touch and just softly gaze up right between your fingertips. Extend your energy upwards. Feel the expansion across the outer lines of your body. Now take a deep breath in. And then exhale, guide that hand in prayer to your heart center. Let's start to warm up the shoulders. We're going to bring the hands onto your knees, just soft movement. Start to roll the shoulders up to the ears and just roll them back and down. Draw the shoulders up to the ears. Use your exhale, roll them back and down. On the breath in, rise up and exhale, back and down. 2 more. We're going to reverse that 5 times. So you want to inhale, roll the shoulders up and back, and exhale, forward, down. We're going to do that 4 more times at your own pace. So the concept as we're prepping into the basics of Chaturanga, a posture that does require a lot of shoulder upper body strength and wrist strength. So I like us to warm up in those spaces first, so that when we do work into Chaturanga, we are well prepped and well warmed up for it. On your last set, go ahead and just soften the shoulders down, away from the ears. And go ahead and float the arms up. I want you to take your hands forward and then bring them down right before you. Just shoulder rotations. Let the palms face up and thumbs face up, palms facing in. I want you to inhale, keep the palms facing in, keep them up, and then rise up right over your head. There you go. Upon here, on your exhale, rotate the palms outwards. Your thumbs should be facing towards the top of your mat. And then exhale, rotate back and down. Beautiful. Once the fingertips touch the back of your mat, flip the palms up. And then we're going to inhale, float the arms up. On your exhale, rotate the palms down and rotate the thumbs down, palms out, and then release down. So you can feel the dynamic rotation within the shoulders here. Bring the hands back in, palms in, thumbs up. Inhale, rotate up. Exhale, rotate the palms out, rotate back and down. There you go, beautiful. Inhale, rotate the palms forward and lift. Exhale, rotate the thumbs down, palms facing out and down. Connect it into your own breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Do this a few more times at your own pace. The slower you breathe and you let that breath guide this movement, the more heat you're going to start to feel generating through the shoulder joint. And all you're doing here is warming up into that shoulder space. Let's go ahead and just meet our arms up, palms facing in. And at this time, I want you to rotate the palms out and just press down through the air. Lateral movement. On your inhale, palms up and fly up. Beautiful. Rotate the palms out and then press down through the air again. On your inhale, you rise higher. Exhale, you press down. Inhale. Exhale, press and down. Just going to do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Let's connect that movement all together. You're going to inhale, rise up. Exhale, rotate the palms out, press back and down. Inhale, rise up and back. Rotate the thumbs down and bring it down. Connecting to the second round of movement. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, press down through the air. Do that one more set. You're going to inhale, float the arms forward and up. Rotate the palms out. Exhale, rotate back and down. Inhale, rotate up, palms facing up. On your exhale, thumbs rolling down, carry it forward. Second set to the side. Inhale. Exhale, palms press down through the air. Go ahead and bring the hands to the back of your mat, fingertips pointing back. Rotate the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades, push that chest forward. And just go ahead and just roll the head back so you can start to take ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And then go ahead and just bring the head all the way back to the center. Let's fold forward. Inhale, float the arms up, stretch into the low back, and just reach those arms forward. Bring the forehead down to the mat. Take a quiet moment here, just elongate through the upper back and low back. If you like to lengthen one more time, use that breath in so you can walk the fingertips just slightly forward. Create that extra length into the low spine. Hold it here. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Let's glide and roll that upper body up. Let's start to flow a little more movement into the body. So hands and knees, let's go ahead and meet on our mat. So you want to place your hands right underneath the shoulder joints. You want to place the knees underneath that hip joint. And go ahead, just start to lift that tailbone up. See the arch of my low back. I'm going to glide my chest forward, like cow pose. And then just start to exhale. You're going to start to round your spine. Drop the chin down to your chest. Breathe in. Lift your gaze forward. Tailbone up. Exhale. Reverse and round. Take another breath in. Open that heart space forward. Lift your head up. And exhale. Roll and round into your back. You're going to repeat this motion here for a few more breaths. You can close your eyes, get in touch with how your body's feeling. Come back to a neutral tabletop. And at this point, I just want you to rock back and forth from child's pose, shift forward to your tabletop and rock back and forth. You're going to start to observe yourself and how you're leaning your body weight. Every time you roll forward, shoulders over the wrist, you can start feeling weight placement in the wrist space. So just be very mindful on what you're activating and not activating. Perhaps add some hip movement, rolling the hips over to one side, carry it forward. Let's go ahead and return back to center. And let's start our work for Chaturanga. So typically when you're in Chaturanga, the knees are further back behind your hips. But for the purpose of this, I want you to just focus on the upper body. When you're on your hands and knees, that is enough weight placement on your wrist already. If you don't feel it, that means you have a full engagement of your upper body. So notice how my shoulders are slightly shrugging up to my ears. I can feel a lot of my body weight into my wrist right now because I'm deactivating from my upper back. So notice how my shoulders look right now. Notice how I'm just sinking into my shoulder blades and I'm feeling all my body weight in my wrist. Now notice what happens to my back when I press my hands into the floor, and then notice how my upper back just lifts and fills into that shoulder blade space. So you want to imagine when you're holding your upper body into Chaturanga in that plank position that you're trying, if like somebody put their palm right between your shoulder blades, you're trying to push in and fill into their palm space, lifting and activating the upper back. So you're shifting your body weight away from the floor and shifting it upwards. So this is one of the key things with Chaturanga is that if you don't maintain this on the way down to Chaturanga, all your weight's just going to bear into the wrist space. So that might cause a lot of wrist pain. So go ahead and release back for a moment, release the wrist out a little bit. And then come back forward. So all we're going to do for a few moments here is just activation into this upper back. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. From here, go ahead and just stop all activation. Notice what happens if you just dip your shoulders into the ears. Shrug them up to the ears. Your neck is cringing up to your chest. And you can feel all that body weight just shift downwards towards your hands. Now actively push your hands away from the floor like you want to get away from the floor. You're trying to push, push, push. And you'll feel that energy activate through your forearms, upper arms, eventually up into the upper back, slightly rounded, slightly lifted. And then loosen that up again. Notice the difference of the dip. And then one more time, push the hands away from the floor. Keep lifting, lifting that upper back. Keep lifting. Keep pressing and filling that space between your shoulder blades. And then relax. One more time. Ready? Push the hands away from the floor. Keep lifting into the upper back. Hold it there. 3, 2, 1. Child's pose. Relax. It might help to let the palms face up so you can release some of the tension from the wrists and the hands. So we're going to come back into child's pose a few times during the next probably 10-15 minutes while we do some Chaturanga work. And the reason being, the more I start to have you be aware and activate these muscles, you're going to start to identify your weak points. And even though I'm trying to demonstrate to you the correct form, know that for me on my end, I'm feeling everything that you're feeling, even the wrist space, because my shoulders are still in the process of recovery and strengthening. So I can't hold as long, but I can show you enough of what I've learned that you don't always have to do the full Chaturanga form to get the benefit of the strength building. So let's go ahead and come back onto our hands and knees. Now to start to feel what Chaturanga looks like, right? Go ahead and start to walk your knees back. Knees back is behind your hips. The further back your knees go, the more you can start feeling this activation of the core, right? Now, in your traditional Chaturanga, I'll do this once in the beginning and once at the end. Full Chaturanga starts at a plank. Notice how my hips are leveled. The hardest thing about a Chaturanga going down, Chaturanga Dandasana is not this. It's not flopping your belly onto the mat. because you don't have the upper body strength. Chaturanga Dandasana is when you go from plank and then into Chaturanga Dandasana, which means you're bending your elbows in a 90-degree angle, you're hovering above the mat. This is Chaturanga, and then we untuck our toes into Cobra. So that sheer movement of hold and stay takes so much strength. But when a teacher teaches that, you're like, I can't do that. I don't want to take this class. Doesn't mean that. I can barely hold Chaturanga Dandasana for a long term right now. So that's why I say I do it once in the beginning and once at the end. So how do we do that from a beginner's level, right? Let's go back on our knees. This is how I usually do my vinyasa practice now. So my hands are at shoulder width, my fingertips are spread wide. This way I know I'm activating really strongly through all places of my hands. I'm starting to walk my knees back behind my hips, so I'm almost modifying as if I went from full plank and I just drop my knees down. My knees are at hip width. At this point, same thing we did from the first exercise. Now that you have so much less groundwork from the lower body of your knees, you can start to feel more body weight hitting the wrists, right? You want to start to feel, push your hands away from the floor, feel that lift in the upper back again. That action of push away from the floor during this time will let you shift some of the body weight away from the wrist. So we're going to do that 3 times. Go ahead, just gently deactivate the shoulders and the upper back. Keep the chin towards the chest. Now, actively push away from the floor. Push the hands away from the floor. Feel yourself pushing that upper back right between the shoulder blades, and then deactivate again. You're going to do that 2 more times. Push, push, push. If you don't know what I mean, just look at my back, how I'm continuously pushing and lifting as if I'm pushing my upper back in towards the ceiling. And then I'm deactivating now. Look at how my form just collapses. 1 more time. Push, press, lift, lift, lift. Activate those arms. 3, 2, 1. Child's pose. Take a break. So you can use this time in child's pose to take any variation you like. Hands to your feet, hands forward, stretching hands over to the left or right, whatever feels good. Okay, let's return back to center. So this one, I'm coming onto my fist right now because I can feel it in my wrist space. So if my shoulder's not as strong, I tend to collapse most of my body weight into my wrist, and this is just something I've observed from physical therapy the last couple of months. So periodically, I just come up here for a rest point. Now, this next part that we're going to move into is that kind of push down part into that 90-degree elbow. And that is going to be the hardest part of our practice. So we're going to do it in a couple phases, falling back into child's pose. You can take a break with the wrist. So I'm going to do 1 set just to show you what we're going to do. We're coming back into that knee plank. I usually tuck my toes in to mimic that full plank mode. My knees are behind my hips. I can feel my core engaging. And once I start to come into this form, then I start to lift into my upper back, feel myself engaging my upper back and shoulders, and I'm now dumping my body weight into my wrist. I'm going to count 3 steps down and bend my elbows into 90 degree. And then when I exhale, I'm going to push up in 3 counts. So inhale, 3, 2, 1, and push. 3, 2, 1. We're going to do that 3 times together. The whole entire time, you have to be really mindful that you're still pushing away from the floor and you're not collapsing into the mat. So, ready? 3, engage the core, 2, 1, and then push. 3, 2, 1. On that last push, maintain, keep pushing into the upper back. Oh, whose heart rate's racing? Mine is. Ready? One more time. 3, 2, 1. Hold, push. 3, 2, 1. Fall back, child's pose. Catch your breath, slow down the heart rate. The more challenging this starts to become for your own body, trust me when I say, be loving. Be very loving, especially when we're learning basics of form and challenging our own body strength. We often can get into a headspace of why I can't, why do I feel like this? And just from recovery and healing best practices, I've learned that none of that judgment does well for our own mind. So you just come into a space of acceptance and know that this is what your body can do today. And be grateful and know that practice takes time, practice takes effort, and eventually your body will be magnificent and it will progress. So be patient. Let's go ahead and come back into that second set. On this one, we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. So remember how I said Chaturanga Dandasana is an actual hold of the posture before you transition into Cobra, right? So we're going to do that 3 steps down, hold for 1 second, only 1 second, and then push up in 3 counts. Meanwhile, keep making sure you're lifting and pressing in and filling that space between your shoulder blades. So let's go ahead and set up. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees behind the hips, toes are tucked in. Looking down between your hands, you're going to start to push away from your hands. Fill the space between your upper back. And ready, we're going to go down. 3, bend. 2, bend. 3, bend. Hold for 1 second. And now push up. 3, 2, 1. On this last push, realign that upper back so you can push away from the floor. Engage the upper back one more time. Ready? I want you to breathe in and let's go down. 3, 2, 1. Hold 1 second. Good. Push up. 2, 1. Ooh. Never thought 3 exercises would be so long, right? You got this. We got one more. Ready? Engage and lift through the upper back first. Push away from the hands. Feel the shift away from your wrist space first. There you go. Draw that belly into your core. Engage with the full upper body. We go down. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 1 second and then push up. 3, 2, 1. Stay here. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Keep pushing into the upper back. Good. Child's pose. Chaturanga. When we don't give ourselves the opportunity to break it down, I find that we might strive so much to do the full form that we lose activation of the rest of the body. And in the long term, what will happen is if you deactivate part of your muscles and you try to do the full Chaturanga Dandasana into Cobra, I see too often that people just collapse and just do a belly flop and then just glide up into Cobra. And it pains me to see that when I've been teaching is because it could cause injury that people don't know because they're not focusing on engagement and form. So if you know that you're struggling just on the knees right now, my recommendation personally would be not to do the full form until you master it on your knees first, because then you can really hone in on the muscles you need to engage before you activate into full form. All right, this last one that we're going to do for Chaturanga Dandasana It's going to be a little bit longer of a hold, which means we're not going to go down in 3 counts. I'm going to have you go down, have that 90-degree in your elbows, and we're going to hold it there for 5 seconds and then push up, and that's it. So I'll do one time to show you. So right now I'm lifting into my form. I'm feeling my upper back. I'm just going to do one push down, hover, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push up. And that's it. So instead of slowing our way down, it's one push down, hold, and then lift up. 3 sets. Ready? Hands, push and lift away from the hands, engage into the upper back. It might help for you to shift the shoulders slightly over the wrist. Feel the belly engage. Ready? Push down once. Hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push up. Woo. Ready? Take a moment to realign. Push the hands away from the floor. Feel the lift in the upper back. And go down. Hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push up. Oh. Take a break, shift back. This last one is the only one we're going to do in this set. Now, this last one more thing I want you to try to focus on if you can. When you start holding in that 5 seconds, see if you can hug your biceps into your chest so your body is nice and tight and you have one center form of gravity. Ready? Let's come back to the center, shoulders over the wrist. You've got this. Now push away from the floor. Feel the belly draw into your navel, lifting to the upper back. And let's go down once, hold. Clasp the biceps into your body for another 3, 2, 1. Push up. Take a break. Take that nice, long, well-deserved child's pose. Just close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Cool down your body. If you haven't, go ahead and just glide the hands back towards your feet. Allow the shoulders just to relax around your knees. Relax your arms. Relax your hands. Okay. Just go ahead and bring the hands right next to your knees. So you're just going to gently roll that upper body up. Take a moment here, just a kneeling position, letting yourself feel good. So before we start to go into that deep stretch, I want to show you one more time in the two different variations of Chaturanga Dandasana, the modified version as well as the full form. So the modified version that we did, when you start to do any part of your vinyasa practice, know that this is a perfectly good form for you to come into, to slide into cobra. Now, my knees are behind my hips. This is what we just did, hands underneath my shoulders, not collapsing into my upper back. I'm pushing away, lifting. And once I shift my shoulders over the wrist, I come down for Chaturanga Dandasana modified version here and tuck my toes. Then I drop my belly down nice and smooth. Then I can lift my chest to cobra. I prefer doing this during my practice so I don't fatigue my shoulders too often, especially coming back from an injury. For those who have a full practice of Chaturanga Dandasana, when you come into that plank from down dog, right? You go in, you bend your elbows 90-degree angle, you hover above the mat parallel 90-degree at an angle, and then you untuck your toes, slowly lower the hips, and then rise up. So that requires a lot more body strength. The only reason I recommend, and I was showing you how to do it on your knees, is because I cannot explain how many times, even when I started yoga, no joke, I could not hold this posture for my life. So I see this when I'm teaching, but I'm a victim of it because I did it, I don't know for how long when I started vinyasa. But I used to do, I see this down dog. I'm going to go into full chaturanga because that's what I see the teacher doing. Oh, I can't do it. Okay, I'm here. So when we do that, we lose all activation in the upper body, and we just, all that energy is going into your poor wrist, and you're like, I'm just going to belly flop my way down and pretend I can get into cobra that way. Whereas when you do it on your knees, you have more control. You have control over the breath because you can really move down nice and slow. You know, you can control really in terms of how much you can flow down, how much activation in your body. You can focus one point at a time. So that's our back to basics for this class. I hope you can revisit this again and again. I am recording this for your purpose, so you can always use it as practice. But outside of that, let's start getting comfy and stretching it out. So let's move into that seated pose. I want to have you get into bound angle first. So the soles of our feet are together, knees are rolling out to the side. Take the hands to your toes and just use that inhale, lengthen the spine for a moment. Let it feel good. And let's go ahead and exhale, bend your elbows towards your waist. Roll your forehead down. Close your eyes. Deepen into your breath here. Okay. Start to roll the upper body up. Gonna take that left leg all the way out to the left. Bring that right foot in. You can flex into the left foot if that helps. I just want you to twist. So just left hand onto the right thigh, right hand behind your back, and just softly gaze over to the right back corner of your mat. Take deep breaths into your belly. And just breathe in so you can return back to center. You're going to float both arms up above your head. So you're going to turn your chest over towards the left leg and fold your upper body down towards the left leg. The last few breaths here. You can flex into that left foot just slightly more. And then gently just lift the upper body up. Beautiful. So from here, I want you to move the right knee a little bit, rotate that left toe towards the top of your mat. I want you to bend the left knee. So you just start to, this is the top of your mat here. Your right knee's bent, your left knee's bent. Your right foot's not touching your left knee actually. I just want you to slowly twist over towards the right side of your mat, framing your hands around that right knee. You can feel that twist coming into the low back. This is almost mimicking a modified version of pigeon pose. And from here, I want you to take the hands a little over. So bring that left hand further towards the back of your mat. Bring the right hand further to the back of your mat. So at this point, you're facing towards the back right corner of your mat, and you're just gently twisting to your own comfort through the low back. Take a breath down through the belly. This helps you massage into the internal organs of your belly space. Okay. Very gently, just return back over to the right side. Feel the low back slightly release here. And you're all you're going to do is just come down to the forearms. Coming into a forward fold. Depending on where your body is, some of us can feel a stretch here, some don't. If you like, you can also transition from this point and just glide the left leg back, moving in towards that single pigeon pose, moving the right knee a little further over to the right, sliding the left leg back. So any modification that you need to do tonight, both knees bent, still getting a nice forward fold in, or transitioning into your pigeon pose to work into the hip space. Take another deep breath here. Go ahead and bend into that left knee, rise the upper body up. Bending the left knee, letting that left foot face towards the back will help you shift back forward. And you're just gonna lean your body weight backwards so you can pick up the left leg. Let the right leg sink up. Lift the hips back to the center and just windshield wipe it out. And as we return back to the center, glide that left footing in, slide the right leg out. And go ahead and just float the hands all the way over to the left. The right hand touching your left thigh, left hand behind your back. We're coming into your counter twist over to the left. Draw your breath in. Let's return back to center. Rise in the hands up and towards the sky as you pivot your chest over to the right leg. And let's exhale, fold forward. So you're super tight in the hamstrings. Go ahead and micro bend the knees to start. As a progression of your breath begins to develop and the body warms up even more, you can play with modifications to deepen. It could be straightening your right knee a little bit at a time, or you can even flex your right foot, letting the right toes flex towards your body. That flexion can feel all the muscles that are back of the calves and the hamstrings really kick in. And then gently start to roll up, lifting your upper body up. Go ahead, take this time to just bend that right knee, draw the right heel towards your glutes. Bring the left foot just slightly away from your pelvic bone. And you're gonna frame your hands over around that left knee. Just take this opportunity to twist ever so slightly, getting your body realigned and adjusted to the spinal twist first. And once that feels good, maybe you can start to walk the hands further over to the left back of your mat. Be very mindful that you want to move into the deepening of your spinal twist with breaths. Use your inhale to lengthen your spine. On your exhale, then twist and keep moving that breath through the belly space. This is so good for massaging into that digestive system for a gentle detox and cleanse. And then walk the hands back to frame that left knee. You're looking towards the left side of your mat here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and recline down to the forearms. You can stay here if it feels good. If you like to move into your Single pigeon on the left side. You can straighten out the right leg. Perhaps adjust the left foot a little closer towards the left side. Just start to feel into the hip space, rolling left and right. Mm. Okay. Let's go ahead and rise back onto your hands. Give yourself this opportunity just to lean over to the left, bend your right knee, recenter the upper body back to the top of your mat, hands behind your mat. Pick up the right leg, pick up the left leg, bending your knees back to center to lift the hips to readjust back to center as well. And let's just windshield wipe it up. Let's go ahead and come back to the center. And I have fun with this as we're starting to wind down our practice. I want you to keep windshield wiping and just shimmy your booty all the way to the top of your mat. Once you reach the top of your mat, I want you to go ahead and just stretch those legs forward. Go ahead and just drop down onto your back. Take the arms all the way behind your head and just awaken yourself here, just elongating through the whole entire body. Let it feel good. Move into the fingertips and the toes. Roll into the ankles and the wrists. Once that feels good, you're going to rest your arms along the sides of your body. Relax your legs. Now, I want you to do for the next minute is to breathe. Bring awareness to your mind. And just softly scan through your body from head all the way down through your toes. Identify any space within your own body that still has a little kink, a little tightness. Note where they are. Oftentimes, I guide you from pose to pose. But for the next 5 minutes, I give you the opportunity to be your own teacher. On this mat, you're always your own mentor and teacher of your own body. You identify with what you need to modify, to release. So take this next few moments, continue navigating through your body. Take any poses to start to readjust and realign for your own self. And I'll meet you back in Shavasana in a few minutes. One of the key reasons I like to encourage my students to be their own teachers and create free time on the mat is because it gives us opportunities and space to be creative within our own body. It also allows us to see that we have the ability to know what we need to adjust to deepen into a preparatory space of when we come into Shavasana, deep relaxation, because we worked into that final release that our body's calling to us. Hmm. Ah. Begin to wind down, begin to transition leg by leg, arm by arm to your Shavasana. Close your eyes. Back to your breath. Quiet your mind. Surrender your body. Breathe in. Calm energy softens in. Breathe out. Release the thoughts of the mind. Breathe in. A state of peace flows within you. Breathe out. The body grounds deep, heavy to the touch of earth. Breathe in. Your mind is quiet. Breathe out. Your body is still. During this time, lend your body to Mother Earth. Nurture your heart with your breath. Surrender your mind to the sound of my voice. As I guide you deeper into your inner self, your subconscious self, you may float in, float out. Or rest in a calm state. Feel comfort knowing this is just part of the process. There is no right or wrong way to navigate into your own mind. There's only what you see and don't see, what you feel and don't feel. Take 3 deep breaths here. Bring your mind's awareness inward. Draw your breath in and rise and feel your energy rise higher, lighter. As your body breathes out, feel a sense of detachment and release. Breathe in, light as a feather. Breathe out, letting go Breathe in, float, weightless. Breathe out, separate, detached. You breathe in to lift up. You breathe out to let go. As the breath continues to rise in and rise higher, as the breath continues to flow out and flush out, the inner state of you flows, lifts, without attachment away from this physical form. It floods out of your physical space. You ground your feet. Take a moment just to feel the space within the room you're in. Be at peace with your physical shell of yourself. And give me your hand. Let's guide ourselves outwards to the vast abyss. Right before you, right beyond, lies a door. Walk towards the door. Open the door. Close your eyes, but open the door and step through to the other side. As your foot steps, one step in, one step forward, the door behind you closes softly. Your eyes are still closed. Now feel the warmth upon your skin. Draw your awareness from the earth below you up to the crown of your head. The soft touch of your bare foot on the soft earth below you. The gliding blades of the grass tickling across the soles of your feet. The grounding energy as you press the heels and the balls of your feet in towards the ground. Now take a breath in and just step one foot forward. Feel light to the touch. Another breath in and step the next foot forward. like gliding upon a prairie of just greenery, a landscape, the great outdoors and nature where the sun just beams down upon your skin, sun kissing your heart, your lips, your feet just stepping breath by breath forward, light as a feather. Free, liberated, freedom, liberation. Two of the few words that come to mind as you're starting to just explore within your body, walking upon Mother Earth's given gift. So much light, so much strength and grounding energy just cycling up through your feet, wrapping and just hugging you as you're just floating and walking, perhaps prancing and dancing around the space that you're in, allowing joy just to fill your heart space, allowing light to once again recharge and revive you. Bask in this moment, bask in the warmth of light. Hi. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Ground still where you are. Feet grounded to the mat, to the floor below you. And just bend your knees, sit yourself on the mat, sit yourself in the space that you're in. Your physical form still, but feeling at peace within your own self here. You're ready to rest. So you lie down once again. As you release your inner form down to Mother Earth, Mother Earth meets you and brings your physical shell and merges your two bodies together as one. Your physical form so still, your inner form full of light and joy and peace. The perfect marriage of allowing your inner light to shine. Feeling rested. You stretch your arms behind your head. Like a child at play, you roll your body over. The first time you saw light in life, you lift your upper body up, come into a seated pose. Hands rest at your knees. Shoulders relaxed. Arms relaxed. Our left hand comes to center. Right hand meets in prayer. Bow your head. We conclude today's practice the same words of guidance that we started. Repeat this after me out loud. Let it be known. I am attracting everything that is for my highest good. New opportunities, new energy, new mindset, and new connection. Say that one more time, louder. May your vibrations be heard. I am attracting everything that is for my highest good. New opportunities, new energy, new mindset, and new connections. Take a deep breath. We lift our head, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you enjoy this practice and you can revisit it as I will put it up onto YouTube for you guys. And once again, I'm going to say a huge thank you. We've raised over $600 so far to help the students out in Inglewood through our partnership with Loxy. And all the donations for my classes this summer goes towards what they call a resilience group that they're building out for the fall and winter to support students in Inglewood with mental wellness, emotional wellness during a time of change. So again, your efforts to come back onto this mat for you, your donations are well received for you, for me, and for the community. So thank you. And I'm going to unmute us